It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That, of course, was Tesla. That is tied to the tracks. It's from the brand new release 5-man London Jam, and a guy that knows all about being in that being one of the 5 men in that London Jam, as well as the acoustic jam and many other great albums and tours that most of you listening have experienced. It is the vocalist of Tesla. It is Mr. Jeff Keith. Jeff, how are you, man?
Doing good, Chris. Thanks.
Well, Jeff, it's very good to speak to you again. You know, as I mentioned to you briefly before we got started, it has been a long time since I've spoken to you. I've spoken to your bandmates any number of times, you know, in over the years, but you, probably because you're the singer and you don't want to blow your voice out doing interviews. I always miss you. You're going to laugh at this. The last time I spoke to you was for promotion of the Bar 7 record.
Wow, man, that's too long, Chris.
That's a long time ago, my friend.
That is a long time ago. That's the late 90s there, man.
It is, man. But it's definitely good to speak to you again. It's good to speak to you when you have music to promote. And, you know, the 5-man London Jam is the latest release from Tesla. It is it's an interesting release for me, and I'm going to tell you why. I'll go back to 5-man Acoustical Jam first, which is without question my favorite album that you've ever put out. And, you know, I know it's a live thing and whatever, but it is that record that captured some absolute magic on it. I know you know that, you know, if nothing else, the spot where the crowd more or less takes the vocals from you in Love Song and just sings it. That is one of the most incredibly awesome captured moments in live recording history, so much so that it started that entire movement of unplugged recording. So, you know, that is a great release. I love this, but I think the London Jam, I think you have to come into it with different expectations, because it seems, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, it seems like 5-man London Jam is very much more, it's an intimate show. It's not a big show. It's more smaller, and it's more intimate between you and the fans that are there. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Well, you know, the thing with the 5-man Acoustical Jam, which was a blast, and it was like, we forgot we were even recording. And we just had, you know, we were on tour with Motley Crue, the Dr. Feelgood tour, and we just found a club that would allow us to play our songs acoustically instead of having 2 nights off in a row. Next, you know, things are going so well, we thought, well, hey, maybe we should get this, get a 24-track mobile truck down there, and we ended up doing it in Philadelphia. And what people appreciate about it, and also us, is that it's completely live from start to finish. So with the 5-man London Jam, we were lucky enough for our management to get it set up for us to do a live recording at Abbey Road Studios, which was just magical. Of course, we know that that's, set out to be a record recorded live to celebrate the 30 years from the 5-man Acoustical Jam. So, but we forget we're recording in that also, which is a good thing. And that's what I love about live recordings. You forget you're even recording and you're just having fun like a live show. So it was magical to do it in Abbey Road Studios with all the history with the Beatles and a lot of other great bands. And it came out fantastic, and we're really happy and excited about it. And like I said, it's celebrating the 30 years, and we had fun doing it. We got to play a lot of songs that weren't written when we did the 5-man Acoustical Jam, and also right on up to some live recordings of off the Shock album, which we made with Phil Collen last year.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about Abbey Road, Jeff. You mentioned it yourself. There's the obvious historical significance, and for you, you've obviously been in a million recording studios at this point. You know, do you really look around and think, oh my God, I'm sitting in a space where John Lennon, was, or Paul McCartney? I mean, it's got to be. On the one hand, it's got to be one of those, oh man, look at this, look where I am moments. On the other hand, it is sort of work in a way, no?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, you got to remember too that you're there for a live recording, and try not to think about it too much, that you're in this magical place, Abbey Road Studios, and you're doing a live recording, which we end up doing as you start performing. You kind of forget that you're recording a live record, but that was absolutely set up to make a live record for the 30-year anniversary.
Right.
But we still had fun just doing a live recording, and to be within those four walls where all that magic was created, you can't help but think about that. And like I said, try not to think about it too much and just have fun.
Right. Definitely. Now, Jeff, for Tesla, you guys obviously a harder rock, metal, whatever you want to call it, band. Your music has consistently translated well to acoustic performances, and surprising on some of the songs that it translates as well as it does, considering how heavy a lot of it has been over the years. Does that say something to how you guys write music? Do you start music acoustically and then convert it, or is it just the way you guys are wired that you hear different ways of rearranging the music, or what?
Absolutely. I mean, there's an acoustic track on every Tesla record, even if it's like a very hard rock, walls of amplifier song. We've always got an acoustic track somewhere. So, we do write a lot of songs. They start off with an acoustic guitar. Okay. So it's not unusual for us to come bring it down acoustically. And what makes it fun doing an acoustic record is that you take a song, like say Modern Day Cowboy, that's just a wall of amplifiers and just this loud wall. And to approach the song, you have to approach it differently because you don't have that wall of amplifiers to rely on. So it makes it fun and exciting. And so we enjoy doing that, and we're very, very acoustic oriented. And so it's nothing new to us, but we have fun with it. And like I said, you approach it differently, which makes it exciting for us.
Sure. Were there songs on the New London Jam that were more difficult than others to arrange from the electric counterparts of them?
Well, actually, no. We just, they actually, come off great. Like Tied to the Tracks. It's just off the new record Shock that we did with Phil Collen last year, and it just when we play it acoustically, it just feels right. Even though it's a totally electric song, it just seemed to fit well acoustically. So, I think it's exciting and yet fun, and it complements it well doing it acoustically.
Sure. Well, you mentioned Shock a couple times. Let's talk about Shock for a little bit. Certainly, I know you've heard the flack about the Def Leppard sound. There's no way you guys haven't heard that. And fair enough. And I'll be 100% honest and upfront. So I don't want, I'm one of those guys.
Sure.
I am definitely one of those guys that was like, man, I like my Tesla heavy. And I'm not saying that there's not songs on Shock that aren't that. I mean, I'll take The Mission and put it on any album and it fits. There
right.
are songs that are there. Then there's songs like California Summer Song or Taste Like or We Can Rule the World. Those types of songs that definitely have that Phil Collen influence, I think. And I don't want you to justify it because you don't need to. You've been in business 35 years. You certainly understand Tesla. My question is, do you understand the frustration that fans have or had because it is a different vibe than a traditional Tesla, turn the amps up to 11 and go raw sound?
Yes, I can understand that. I mean, we definitely knew we were trying something different. We were trying, more of a sonically sounding record that had more of a, with the approach that Phil Collen is accustomed to. And so we knew we were trying something different, but the beauty of it was that we still stayed within the roots of Tesla, and it's still Tesla. But Phil Collen helped us co-write a lot of that record, of course, produced it. He's got different approaches on things. And so it was fun and exciting for us to try some new things. And, it's like usually with Tesla, we'll go in and record a song in the studio, and we'll stay on that song until we feel we have it, what's called in the can, and then we'll move on to the next song. Where with Phil, we'd come in the studio, and like say one day I would sing the chorus to a song that worked on yesterday or the day before. Then we would go to a verse of another song. Then we'd go and work on the bridge to another song. And so we did work on 3 or 4 different songs in one day, which is different than what a Tesla would usually approach recording. So it was fun. It was exciting. I can understand when people go, well, it's definitely different than your usual Tesla record, which that's what we were trying, was something new and different. And to work with Phil was absolutely fantastic. He's a great guy. He knows a lot of things, and with all of his experience of recording. So we definitely did try some new things. So I understand where the fans go, well, that's a different approach than Tesla would normally make. And hey, it's flat out is. And
right.
but for the most part, our fans, the response we've got from it they were excited about the record. They knew it was a different approach than we normally would do, but they still appreciated it, that it was still a Tesla record.
Sure. Were the choices of California Summer Song and Taste Like purposeful in that they did showcase Phil's influence on what you had created?
Absolutely. We were following Phil's lead, and like I said, he helped co-write a lot of the stuff. So it definitely tastes like maybe would not be an approach that Tesla would take to making a song, writing a song. So we were definitely trying different things and different style, but staying within our roots of being that blue collar rock and roll band. And there's no doubt about it. We were trying some different things, and we still had a blast doing it. We still appreciated that Phil Collen wanted to work with us.
Sure.
We were very honored. And we tried some different things, but still, it was still exciting for us, and we were following Phil's lead on a lot of it. There's no doubt about it.
Right. And to be fair, there are definite songs on here that sound like they would fit on any Tesla record. I Want Everything, The Mission, Tied to the Tracks.
Tied to the Track.
Yeah. Those songs would definitely fit pretty much anywhere in the catalog, which is probably the best tribute to you guys, that even when you were trying something different, the roots of what Tesla is still provided. It's, you didn't go and record a pop album.
Right. It still stayed within the veins. Right. But we were thinking a little bit more, I think the approach was a little bit more of more of a pop side of Tesla, but still stayed within that blue collar rock and roll sound.
Sure. Definitely. Now, Jeff, with the world basically shut down right now, and certainly this has got to be killing you guys, because if I know anything about Tesla, it's that I can always look up somewhere in my summer and see Tesla playing near me, and this has to be, especially where you have new music out and everything else, this has to just be brutal for you guys, no?
Oh, it is brutal. It's brutal for all of us, the whole entire world. This is, difficult times to be in, and absolutely. I mean, we went out in February, and we came home for a break in March, and we're prepared to go back out in April. We were planning on being on the road right now. So with everything just being shut down, it's like, that's our livelihood, and that's what we like to feel like we're a hard-working rock band, and playing live is our forte. That's what we love to do. We love making records, but the best part about making a record is going out and performing the song. So it's real tough for everybody, and especially on us. We are just itching to get the green light to get back out there on the road and do what we love to do most.
Sure. If the estimates are true that nothing kicks back over concert-wise until 2021 sometime, what does that do for you guys? Do you write another record, or do you wait it out so that you can promote the two releases that you have, or where does that leave Tesla?
You know what? That's a good question. And your guess is as good as mine, Chris. But hey, it may, depending on how soon things open back up and things are safe enough to open back up? Hey, that's a good question. I mean, we might very well have to go back in and write another record without being able to go out and promote this new 5-man London Jam. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And until we get the clearance and everything's safe for us all to congregate, you know, our livelihood of playing live is completely shut down. Everybody is.
Right.
I mean, sure. All around the world it's shut down. So we are just raring to go. And hopefully we get the green light soon, Chris, because I tell you what, that's what we've done for the past, 30, almost 35 years, so it's our livelihood.
Yeah.
So with our livelihood being shut down, there's a whole lot of different new approaches, and we may very well go back in the studio and make another record. Let's see how it goes and hope that we get the green light, that it's safe for all of us to go do what we love to do most.
Sure. I have to imagine for a guy like you who really has never spent extended time home, you have to be crawling up the walls, man, looking in closets and going, oh, what's in here? You know?
Oh, man, are you kidding me? Hey, I tell you what, and being a homeschooler, I got a 9-year-old son.
Okay.
Going back to adjectives and pronouns and all that stuff, which I never was that good with 50 years ago, it's like, whoa. So it is a whole new approach, and it's just, we're all getting stir crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And but we have to do the right thing, and we have to do the social distancing and hope that, you know, what they are calling phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, we're hoping we can get back to phase 3 as soon as possible. But if things don't work out where it don't happen as fast as we would like to, then we're going to have to consider maybe going back in and writing another record.
Right.
And we just got to kind of take it day by day and week by week and just in high hopes that, you know, things are going to open back up. I mean, for everyone.
Exactly. Well, Jeff, before I let you go real quick, since I haven't spoken to you for a while, I wanted to ask you about one song that's a little bit older, not that old, but without question my favorite song in the entire Tesla catalog. But I always wondered what was behind this song or what was going on that launched it. That's the song Just in Case, which is without question your as a band's highlight lyrically, at least in my eyes, man. It's such a great moving tune. What was going on that led you to write such a deep song like that song?
Well, I remember, you know, like with the acoustic guitar, just coming up with this idea about, you know, I always work on my religious side, my Christianity, or however you want to call it. But I mean, you know, it's just a song that you know, I'd asked the band, could we try to get this on a record? It's my way of saying thanks to God and for everything that we're great, you know, to be grateful for. So, you know, just in case I don't get everything right and I'm not going to make it through the gates, but hey, it's still my way of lyrically showing my appreciation for everything that we're grateful for.
Sure. Do you look at it as a lyrical highlight for you, or is it just another song for you?
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's my way of saying thanks, and my thanks to God and everything that He's created that we're grateful for. And, you know, like the title says, just in case I'm not getting everything the way it's supposed to be done. Just my way of saying thanks for everything, and just in case, you know, I'm not getting everything right, and nobody's perfect, and hopefully that God would hear it and hear me being thankful for everything that we have.
Very good, man. Well, Jeff, the new release is called 5-Man London Jam, or the other new release is called Shock. You know, I certainly advise everybody to listen to both. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, why don't you pick a closing track from either one of them and maybe tell us a quick story about it to wrap the interview up.
Okay. How about we do, let's go with Stir It Up, because that was from Psychotic Supper. It wasn't written when we did the 5-Man acoustical jam, and we got to do it at Abbey Road Studios live. acoustically. And, it's just a song about everybody coming together, and Lord knows we all got to come together, the whole world, more than ever in these times. So I'd like to play Stir It Up. Have you play Stir It Up.
All right, well, let's do it right now. It is Tesla, and of course, it is your classic metal show.